Hey, how's it going? So season 6 is coming out before Rogue Core, surprise. This new season is called Relics of Hoxie's, and the logo goes crazy, wow. DRG season 6 is being co-developed with Invisible Walls, who is a studio also located in Denmark, and they are working with Ghost Ship to try to make DRG's development get pushed along with Rogue Core. So they're kind of splitting development, but still working closely together to make sure it's gonna work well for Deep Rock. And obviously that concept can sound kind of scary at first. I mean, personally, when I heard just another team is working on Deep Rock, I was like, oh God. As soon as you see what they're making, it's like, yeah, they know exactly what they're doing, and it looks really cool so far, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. The first thing they showed off was the new biome Ossuary Depths. By the way, Ossuary means like a container for bones, if you don't know. And yeah, this is definitely a container for bones. There's a lot of them all over the ground. A lot of small ones, but also some bigger ones in some of the screenshots. There's this big spine thing that looks like oyster crackers on there. That's interesting. And there's this jaw. I really like that. It's probably my favorite of the big bone structures, was this massive creature jaw, which I don't want to know what that's from. There was also a giant glyphid sort of mouth that looked really cool in one of them. Besides all the bones and stuff, there's also some cool rocks, which is neat. There's these stalactite sort of pillars that enemies will be able to crawl down, and that might catch you by surprise, which is kind of interesting for this biome in particular. The cliff faces have a lot of these sort of platform-esque structures that you can climb up pretty easily, no matter the class, which is interesting. It'll be pretty different traversal-wise from what it looks like. In general, it's not super colorful, but we already have a lot of really colorful biomes, and I'm just happy to have something a little more cave-like. Reminds me of Magma Core a little bit, where it's just, you're in a cave, and that's cool. I'm down for more cave. You can just give me a cave. Along with these depths comes a couple new enemies. We have a Scrab, which is a scarab-like guy. Go, my scarab. And these guys are interesting in the fact that they're small enemies, like swarmers, but when they're walking, their wings act as armor. And when they're flying, they're weaker because their weak points will be exposed. They kind of intermittently are more difficult to kill, and you have to, try to kill them while they're flying instead, which is interesting. I'm intrigued to see how that plays, and just have a smaller enemy that comes in hordes and is a little more difficult to deal with. After that is the Ossuary Pitjaw, which is like the bigger Daniel of the Scrab, and it hides. You can see in this image, it's showing just a little bit on the ground, like a little bear trap sort of thing, and it'll grab players, kind of like just a ground cave leech. And I really don't like seeing it like burrowed in the ground like that. Yeah, they showed it in the stream. It's just really gross looking. It looks like a little larva or something. But yeah, it'll pull you down, and it actually deforms the terrain, which is kind of rare in Deep Rock. There aren't a ton of enemies. Obviously exploders do, but it's not that significant, and bulks. But it's cool to see more deformation in the terrain from enemies. I feel like that's something that could be utilized in really cool ways. So I'm excited to see what this plays like, and if it's as tough to deal with as other disarming enemies or what. It really depends on how easy it is to spot in the ground. It might be biome dependent if there's a lot of debris or anything. After that, they showed off the new mission type that's coming in season 6, which is heavy extraction. This has the player collecting 2 to 4 of these rocks by digging them out, attaching rockets to them, and shooting them out of the planet with lasers and rockets, which is sounds pretty standard at this point for Deep Rock. They just be doing shit like that. Oh man, I really like the vibe of like collecting these amber resin things. Obviously the screenshots, it's not final art, but I'm excited to see if there's any bugs in the resin or something that we're collecting, or I don't know, like a rare chance that there's some weird fossilized thing in it. This looks really good. I like the idea of a mission type that's less reliant on a sort of new piece of gear. The pipes in OSR, Escort Duty had Doretta, and like the fuel canisters, and Deep Scan has like the meter for finding stuff with the beeping. It's all cool stuff, and it brings new mechanics, but it's nice to go back to just the roots of going around and exploring, finding some rocks and shooting them into space. I like that. I like playing into the exploration part of Deep Rock. I think it's kind of underrated in some of the mission types how fun it is to just look around the caves without some tool to help you. The cave generation is going to be interesting, pretty unique to this mission type. I don't know what it's going to be like, but that's just what I heard. Next is the framework set, which is kind of this Dieselpunk-esque themed thing. It's got these nice brown accents. I really like the Warthog looking like a classic, just pump shotgun is so cool. I can't wait to mess around with the different paints for that. But yeah, all of this looks really good, and I like that they're putting these guns in little bone crates. Lastly, they showed off a season event that I really like the look of. This is something I was talking about in Seasons Need to Change a while back, that I think season events are just a little too rigid on what they are. And this is the first one where I feel like they've pushed it in a direction that I really like. In this season event, you'll find this bug that's kind of like a hoolie hoarder, runs away from you when you start firing at it. But this one leaves a trail of breadcrumbs. At the moment, they look like birthday cake sprinkles. You trace that down and it'll lead you to an extra cave section that you have to dig into. And in this cave section is a new mineral that like grows out of bones, and you have to collect that, and that's your season event. I really like that this kind of puts more emphasis, it's still combat oriented, but more emphasis on the exploration part of Deep Rock, where you're going into a new cave section and collecting some minerals and stuff. It feels like all around it's a more Deep Rock like season event instead of just combat or just a mini boss, or you know, it just blends better into the game, I think, and that's really cool. And it's honestly coming pretty soon. Q1 is not that far away. They also delayed Rogue Core to Q2 of 2026, which is a bummer to hear, but I'm glad they can have this ability to delay the game and get the time they need to actually make it what they want it to be for early access. Also, Alpha 4 has been really fun so far and has been a significant upgrade for my experience playing the game, and I have high hopes for where this is going now. It's starting to finally kind of piece together and start to look like what it sounded like it would. Tomorrow, I'm doing a stream raising money for the Trevor Project. It's day 2 of the stream, and if you want to catch it, it's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern. You should come hang out, even if you don't have anything you can donate, share it with your friends, or just come hang out and watch us play some Deep Rock. It's fun. Stream will be here on YouTube and also on Twitch if you prefer that. Thanks for watching. Hope you're doing well. Rock and Stone.